Hello, fellow translators. So, today's topic talks about OCR and more specifically, talks about how to get text from images. So, if you have an image, if you have a picture, if you have a photo, if you have a scanned, whatever it might be, and you need the text in order to translate it, whether or not you use a cat tool or anything like that, is always more useful to have text. So, I'm going to go over briefly the main best ways to do so, and it's called optical character recognition. That's why OCR. A lot of times you'll see OCR, and so let's get into it because it's not that complicated, but it's good to know. First of all, do you need this? Do you need OCR? The fact is, preview often works by itself, and I can show you a quick example. So as you can see, this is a screenshot image, but as soon as I put my cursor over here, it picks it up as text. And that way you can copy it and you can paste it wherever you want. And this works quite well. In my experience, it can work with stuff like, here, let's take this, it has different types. Here it has a URL, it already detects it as a URL. It'll pick up this text, it'll pick up this text. So if it's black on white, white on black, doesn't matter, it'll pick it up. And in fact, just recently I found out this as well. I tried it with this cartoon and it picks it up there as well. Here I can copy, and here on the sticky, paste it, and it did it exactly. So many times you can do this, and that's fine. But oftentimes you'll need something a bit more. You'll need something that maintains the format. You'll have multi-page document, and it's all been scanned, and and it'll be in a language or in something that doesn't work well with just preview. So in these cases, what I recommend is this, onlineocr.net. Look, I have no affiliation with Online OCR. I just use it. I've been using it for a long time. And so here, let me go through what the prices are. They have a weekly plan, monthly plan, lifetime plan. They've changed this. Before it used to be by pages, but now you can do, if you have a project, you can just get it for 1 week and it gives you 2,000 pages, which is probably more than enough for your project, but it really isn't bad, especially considering it has all these languages, and I've tried it with various different languages: Chinese, Korean, English, Italian, and it works quite well. And then it outputs it in Microsoft Word. And I think the best way to show this is actually in my course. I have a walkthrough of me using it. So what I'm going to do now is show you the excerpt from my course, a walkthrough of me using it, so you can see exactly how it's used. So first of all, I choose the recognition language because it needs to know ahead of time what the language is so that it can, I don't know, work through its database. Output format, Microsoft Word. I always want it in Word. And here, all pages I don't want because I think the first file is actually pretty big. So let's just say I'll do 1 to 3. Don't want to use up too many credits. Here, automatic detection, scan PDF text. Here I usually just do automatic detection, which is fine. If I have issues, I'll go back and try to scan, try to specify, but usually automatic detection is just fine. Here I do select the file under desktop. I have, okay, now I need to, I think it was this one. Yeah, that was it. So now we open it and convert. Right now it's converting whatever this PDF was into text. Here I have it right here. So I just click on this to download it, and that's pretty much it. It's done. Let's open it and see what happens. So now I'm going to open the original as well, and so we can compare them side by side. There we go. So so this is the original. Let's see. Here we go. Sample contract. Let's compare how it looks. Sample contract, Exhibit A. So everything came out quite well. Let's go down here. And as you can see, it all came out. Now this is a Word document, and it seems like it pretty much all came out correctly. And go through here. Well, you notice here the page break was a bit different, and stuff like that will happen. But it seems like all the text came out correctly. So you can pretty much just take this as is and send it to the translator to work on, and it can work out well. So if you get this PDF from the client, you can, by the way, these PDFs, I just took them off. I literally, I think, wrote sample contract PDF or something like that, and this is the first thing that came online. You can pretty much just send this straight to the translator. The translator can translate it and send back another Word file, and everything should be fine. I like to do a quick cursory check. Like I notice a couple things are underlined and you kind of need to see why. This is probably because it's not all in the same language. I need to see how it's formatted in Microsoft Word and stuff like that. Anyway, you can see how you want to do, how you want to make sure that it's been done correctly. Like here, I see this underlined. That's probably because this is lowercase. If I make it uppercase, yeah, it's not underlined anymore. But in the original contract, it's lowercase, so I should probably leave it that way. Although after the translation, it'll probably lose that. But anyway, you get the idea, and that's the way it works. Now let's take this other file, because this other file is kind of interesting in that it is, first of all, it's a JPEG, and it's a bit different. And you cannot, the other one, you could highlight the text. Here you can't, because it's literally an image. So let's see, I actually haven't tried this yet, so let's see what happens. You click on Convert again, and now we're going to select the file. We're going to select the this file, Open. And here I left all pages, everything, because it's just one page, so it doesn't matter. And then it's working. Actually, and I should say also, because it usually works best with PDF documents, and that was a JPEG. So sometimes that can be a sort of a wild card as well. There are ways to turn JPEGs into PDFs. I won't get into that. I'm sure there are 101 different tutorials about that you can find online. But for now, I'm just taking it straight as a JPEG and trying to convert it and seeing what happens. And this is very exciting because I'm doing it live. I haven't done it yet, and so we'll see what happens. First of all, it's taking its time. There we go. Okay. Now let's click on it and see what happens, what we have here. First of all, it's zoomed out quite a bit, which is odd. But yeah, that can easily be formatted as well. Again, that's formatting. But see here, so this is an image, as you can see, but this all became text. So this you're going to have to do yourself, but it did detect that as an image, but all of this seems to be text. Here I have third party standing. It added an extra space, it looks like there. I'm not sure why. It underlined this, but this was misspelled in the original as well. So actually it caught a couple of them. Here, obviously where you have this going, it didn't take the whole text out. But as you can see, it works quite well. And you can quickly spot the places where, well, first of all, it caught mistakes in the original, but you can quickly see where it didn't work out, because usually it will be underlined. Here, food items, I assume that means. But anyway, this is just to give you an idea as to how OCR works. Because once again, when you're dealing with your translator and you send them this, it's a bit harder to work with this, and it's easier to work with straight text. And here you're able to send them straight text just by using this OCR, this optical character recognition scan, and it makes life a lot easier. Once again, I'm not trying to say you should use this type. There are plenty of other ones that you can find. This is just the one that I use, and so I wanted to walk you through it briefly just to show you how OCR scanning works, and because I think it's quite useful, and so I think hopefully you can find it useful, especially when you're dealing with end clients who send you scanned documents in all different formats, and you're also dealing with the translators who prefer to have everything in text. So hopefully you found that useful, and so you can keep this for your reference and you can use it. And if you'll indulge me once again, the Freelance Translator Academy is where you can find everything in one platform. I can show you here once again, what does it include? What do I mean by everything? It means it has the course, How to Be a Successful Freelance Translator course, the main anchor course. It also has Resume CV for freelance translators, optimized for freelance translators with everything you need in there, i.e. not to worry about gaps in your resume and how to make sure you can target the right people for freelance jobs, etc. It has the guide to pros.com, which means that you can optimize your profile on pros.com and make sure you can hit the ground running there. It also has LinkedIn for freelance translators, so you can make sure that your LinkedIn is geared towards finding jobs in freelance translation, which otherwise very often it's not. It's geared towards normal employee jobs. It also has AI for translators, which is not only AI specific code and prompts, but it teaches you how to deal with clients in this era of AI and how to kind of navigate it and make sure you can still get clients during this time of AI when people think they don't need translators. And it also has a section on how to network for introverts, which I find is a very common case, and it certainly was for me, and how to make sure you can go out there and still meet prospective clients and get clients while still being an introvert. Plus, it has some extras: how to move abroad and live as a digital nomad. So, i.e., trying to be an expat and living abroad, even with your family. That's what I've been doing, and for the past over a decade now. How to learn a new language as an adult. How to run your business using freelancers, again, is what I do, and how to set up your own translation agency, which is what I did. It has an additional webinar called How Freelance Translators. You can translate, but can you freelance? This deals with the freelance aspect of freelance translation, which is not covered in schools usually because it deals not with translation, but freelancer, i.e., being your own boss, making sure you can do your sales and marketing, your invoicing, and finding the right clients and keeping the timeline, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It also includes free access to the Freelance Translator Certification Test, which, again, I think it gives you 10 goes at it. It has a current pass rate of around 29%. But with this platform, you get free access to that. So feel free to check it out. The link is in the description below, and that's the link right there. Otherwise, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye. Savedum.